If you're ready to run amok at your next Halloween party,
try making this glorious black flame candle cake.
amuck. Oh no!
For the top layer of the cake, you're going to want to make a hole in the center of the cake that is the same size as your tea light. You need to mark the center of your cake. This can be done by marking the center of a cake board, placing it on top, and poking out where the center goes. If your cutter isn't deep enough, you may need to repeat this process on both sides of the cake. Your tea light can fit through the hole. After you've cut out the center for the top layer, you're ready to stack. First, we're going to take our two 6-inch rounds for the bottom, and to make it more secure, we're going to be adding a cake board with the center cut out for the dowel. When you measure your dowel, it needs to be the height of the tea light and the cake. Run your dowel down the center of the cake. Your dowel should be this size so that your tea light comes right here on the top of the cake. After you've had your cake in the freezer with the crumb coat of icing on, it is now time to put on the final coat of icing. I like to use a turntable to do this, just to make it a little smoother and faster. Just go ahead and put on. Make sure that you try to make the icing as smooth as you can. To get a nice smooth edge, and to kind of get some of these lumps and bumps out, I'm going to be using paper towel and just lightly pressing with my smoother. That will kind of get all the kinks out. Now I'm using an embossed paper towel, which will leave a nice kind of cool design if you look up close. But a Viva paper towel doesn't really have designs depending on which brand you buy or what type. For the most part, they're pretty just smooth. And that will work great too if you just want to keep it nice and smooth. And what we're going to just do is we're going to use toothpicks to kind of mark where we're going to be making designs. For now, we're going to be adding the black flame candle designs, and we're going to be using this edible marker. Now again, the frosting's not cold. We'll see how well it works. I think the two most important parts will be just making sure you get those two ridges. And use those edible markers to just make some really generic, basic, spooky symbols around the cake. I went all the way around. This actually took about 4 edible markers. So just keep that in mind with how intricate. Next part of the black flame candle, we're going to be creating wax, dripping wax along the edges and just kind of falling off the sides. That's why you don't need to be super precise with this part because it's going to have dripping wax. So we're going to be using some candy melts, which will be melting in the microwave. And if you have something like this, like a little a bottle or some kind of a jar, something a little bit thicker than like a pastry bag, just because I know with hot, like warm things, you might need something a little more sturdy like a bottle. All right, we have just melted our candy melts and put them right into this little mustard jar. And now we're going to be making the drips on the candle. We're going to concentrate mainly on the edge of the candle around the circle, kind of where melted wax might be. We're just going to kind of drip that all around from the top, oozing down. What the cake looks like after we've added those drips. It looks pretty spooky. And like I said, if it wasn't perfect, wasn't perfectly level or smooth, once you add those candy melts, you really can't tell. It's now time to add the black flame to our black flame candle. We're going to be using this tea light, but you can go ahead and if you really want, you could use an actual candle tea light. And to get that black flame, we're going to be using a clear extract or some type of an alcohol that's clear, and that alcohol will dry, and some black luster dust. So we're just going to go ahead and add some black luster dust here. We're going to stir it up, see if that's enough. And that's going to give us a nice shiny black. Now we're taking this sterile paintbrush and we're just going to go ahead and paint on the black in the black flame candle. To protect your tea light from getting onto your cake, you can go ahead and just wrap really tightly some saran wrap around the bottom.
Someone lit the candle.
We've gone ahead and put the tea light in the center and then added a little extra candy melt to protect it. And now we have our black flame candle cake. Perfect for any Hocus Pocus Halloween extravaganza. Woohoo! Sweet revenge! See, sisters? My curse worked perfectly! If you liked this video, make sure you like and subscribe.